Wow. I can't believe I'm finally a Giant.
You're telling us.
Singer, that's what they call buying in.
30 close in 15 days, starts now.
Is he standing on his wallet?
Welcome, everyone, to 30 Clubs in 15 Days, presented by T-Mobile. We're coming to you from beautiful Scottsdale Stadium as our desert journey continues during spring training. We're talking about the San Francisco Giants, a team that was 80-82, but man, have they changed so many things, including their front office leadership. We're going to get into all that. It's Greg Amsinger with former Giant Mark DeRosa.
World Series champion Giant.
I don't want to redo the top of the show because I think we can still move on. D-Ro, I got to tell you, man, it feels like, and we're going to talk about your friend Buster in a second, that the Giants are bringing old school back.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of old school faces walking around in uniform, giving their knowledge and their tutelage to some of the younger guys. Listen, this place got a warm place in my heart. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of winning that's been done in this uniform. I love it. And, you know, you talk about the way to go about it. Playing in Oracle Park, you have to play a little bit different style of baseball. You're not going to drive the ball out of the yard consistently there. I think they're aware of that. Pat Burrell's a great hitting coach for them. Talked about situational hitting with us. They brought in some leadership with Willy Adames. So, listen, you control the controllables. You can't necessarily worry about your division. You have to kind of embrace it and go out and attack it.
So that's what I want to talk about next. The reality of the NL West is the Giants are competing in the most difficult division in baseball. I think it's the toughest division in baseball. So what are the realistic expectations for a team like this as they enter 2025?
Listen, I think you break camp thinking you can win the division, even if that's pie in the sky. You never know with injuries. If they stay healthy, I like their rotation. Logan Webb's been a top 5 Cy Young candidate. It seems like every year Verlander has shown up. They could get upside from Kyle Harris.
Robbie Ray's back.
The Jordan Hickses of the world. So I think they got to clean up the bullpen a little bit. I know they got some different arm angles coming out there, but if that can be a lockdown, I like where this team's headed.
All right, so he was a rookie when he broke in. It led to a 2010 World Series championship. Buster Posey's the new president of baseball operations. How do you think he's going to do at this job?
I think he's going to absolutely kill it. From day one, 2010, getting a chance to meet this guy, he was the best player, and he didn't break camp with us, and we all knew it. We all knew that he was coming. From the moment he showed up, hitting third in the order. I mean, this is a future Hall of Famer. Love for the game, love for the San Francisco Giants uniform. I think he's going to do fantastic. And I wanted to ask about Willy Adames and some of his off-season acquisitions. Take a listen right here in these front office insights presented by Sage.
First and foremost, we clearly had a need at shortstop. Fitz did a nice job last year, but Willie being an established guy, I mean, there's a lot to like on both sides of the ball. Plays great defense, drives and runs. That matters. You know, by all accounts, before he got here, just heard what a tremendous teammate he was, that he elevates those around him. And so far, that's what we've seen.
Why was it so important for you to become the president?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I've loved baseball, probably similar to you, my whole life. And then, you know, being a Giant my whole life, I love the Giants. So, you know, finished playing, I really didn't think this is something that I would do, probably, especially not this quick. But, you know, when the opportunity arose and had conversations with, as you mentioned, with my wife, and she was on board, that was number one. Just felt like it was a tremendous opportunity to give back to the organization and be in this leadership position.
When you take over now as the president, like what are you trying to? Is it turn the Giants back into the 3 World Championships? Like what do you stand for when they put on this uniform?
Well, I mean, I think it's important that we recognize the past success, but for me, it's really important for us to establish an identity, who we are, how we're going to play the game, what's our fan base going to think about us, and for the guys to wake up each morning head to the park and say, this is our mentality that we're going to bring to the field each day.
All right, you're playing in a juggernaut division. For you, like, what does that mean? I mean, you're playing in, I believe, the toughest division in baseball.
Yeah, it's something we've talked about in camp. I think you have to embrace it. When you're playing against great competition, it should elevate your game. And, it's important for me for the guys to understand that, we're coming out and we're not trying to just back into a wild card position here. We're coming out to win each and every game and, day by day, but have that long-term vision and goal in mind of what we're trying to accomplish as San Francisco Giants.
Justin Verlander was an interesting sign for you guys. What kind of jumped out from the obvious?
Yeah, he's been so great in camp. I mean, I told him, I said, look, JV, I know you're going to be a mentor just from the guys watching you. I'm not asking you to come in here and have to wrap your arm around these guys.
Yeah.
They're going to get enough from just watching you go about your work. But he's been doing that, and he's giving back to the younger guys. And I just believe, some of these lessons that he'll impart on some of these younger guys will pay dividends for them for years to come.
Are you going to just stay on the perch of being the president, or do you occasionally walk up to Bailey and help him with the catching?
That's a good question, because I'm trying to find that balance, because we know as when we played, it's like from the front office standpoint, you want to know they're around, you want to know they care, but you don't want to see them all the time either.
Yeah.
So trying to find that right balance, and it is a different perspective for me because I was just playing a few years ago. So picking and choosing my spots.
The Giants' big splash was to bring in Willy Adames. Last year, over 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs. If he does that this year for the Giants, he'd be the first member of the Giants to do that since Barry Bonds did it in 2004. Willy Adames standing by with D-Row.
All right, thanks, Greg. I'm with Willy Adames right here. This was Buster Posey. He had to go out and change the culture. First guy he signed to the richest contract in San Francisco Giants history is my man, Willy Adames. All right, give me your early impressions of camp so far.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. The vibes are great.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys, they've been unbelievable. Obviously, now we got Buster here running things. I feel like, the staff, the coaching staff has been unbelievable. They've been amazing. They've been great. So, I'm just excited to be out there and competing. And I think we're in a better spot than what people think.
A lot of what Buster was trying to do was change the culture here.
Yeah.
Your leadership skills kind of permeate through the clubhouse. Is that something you're big on? You a vocal leader? How do you attack that role?
But I just, I do my stuff. I do I work with my, work hard every day. I have my work ethic, and I think people see that. People see me with the same attitude every day. Bringing the energy every day, and just trying to compete every day out there, trying to play, every day. With Chappie on the left side, I mean, things has been incredible. That guy is crazy.
Covered some ground.
He's so good. He told me hey, you don't have to worry about the backhand, okay? I covered that. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's my ball. I was like, well, first of all, that's my ball.
That's my ball.
But if you want it, I ain't gonna complain about it. So no, it's just so cool to see that every day, because when we're playing against each other, it's he's good. He's arguably the best defender on third base in the game. And now seeing it every day, seeing the way he work, and the way that he go about his business, it's just unbelievable. It's something that I admire and something that I think I can pick up his brain from it, and I think we can help each other a lot.
So my man Mike wants to know, do you have any pregame superstitions?
I feel like it's more like a routine. I don't really. It just depends. You know how it goes.
I
When
gotcha.
when
you're struggling, you're changing it up.
Yeah, but when you
What's
run,
the normal routine for you?
so I go hot tub. I go warm up. Go to the cage. Eat some cereal before the game.
Really?
Yeah.
What cereal?
I change it up. Try to do Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes.
Oh my God, you're 12. Greg, he's hammering Frosted Flakes pregame. Back to you.
D-Row, thanks. Frosted Flakes for Adames, huh? Okay, I'm here with Logan Webb, ace of the staff. Logan, I got to go with that question. What's your pregame ritual meal?
Honestly, it's sometimes nothing. If I'm pitching that day, it's hard to eat sometimes. You're excited. But if I do, it's usually an Uncrustable and a banana.
Uncrustable and a banana. All you kids out there,
yeah.
if you want to throw 200 innings, that's the menu. Only the menu. I love that that's your goal.
Yeah.
Last 3 years, no one has taken the ball in innings more than you. Is that what you show up getting ready to do? 200-plus innings, lock it in?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. When I came up, I had Bum, I had Jeff Samardzija, I had Johnny Cueto in my staff. And I just wanted to be like those guys. I think those guys were some of the best in baseball at throwing those 200-inning marks. Now I get to throw with Justin, right? And, you know, a reporter actually brought it up the other day. If I go 200 this year, I'll be the first one to go back to back to back since Justin did it. So I got to ask him about that.
I'm calling this the best division in baseball, and it's because of the starting pitching staffs.
Yeah.
We all know about the Dodgers and what they've added. The San Diego Padres are very good. Corbin Burns out to the Diamondbacks, they're 1 through 5. But if you walk us through your 1 through 5 in your rotation, it's up there with them. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we can stay with anybody. I think, you know, you get a guy like Justin, you bring a guy like Justin in. We have Robbie Ray, who's a former Cy Young winner, who's coming back from hard surgery, and I think you're going to get a motivated Robbie Ray. You got Jordan Hicks, who gained 15 pounds. I don't know if you've seen him walking around, but he's freaking jacked.
Wow.
When you're walking around. He's very motivated to throw a lot of innings and be really good. And then at the end, you got a bunch of young guys fighting for that 5th spot. And, you know, people are sleeping on it a little bit, but I think we're going to go out there and try to prove some people wrong.
I hope you're cool with this. You're my favorite pitcher in the game.
Is that all right?
Yeah. I'm
All
cool
right.
with that.
My favorite pitcher in the sport, Logan Webb. D-Row, who are you with right now?
All right, thanks, Greg. I'm with who I consider the best defensive third baseman in the game. And I think I might have to take my pullover off and match guns with this guy because he came in straight out of the weight room. But Matt, I just want you to take us through, like, if you're teaching some kids at home, some of the things you do that you think help you a ton defensively at third base, like positioning, not so much throwing across the diamond. I mean, you always had that.
For sure.
The gun. But what are some of the things that you do at third base defensively that kind of separate you or help you fundamentally?
For sure. I mean, I would say for the young kids, obviously as you get older, positioning is huge.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing for me now. But, you know, younger kids and, you know, playing in youth baseball, high school, whatever it is, I would say the biggest thing would probably be your timing of how you're getting ready for the pitch and being able to be landing on your feet while the ball's coming through the zone to get a good first step. Because I think at third base, it's such a quick reaction that getting a good first step is really, you know, the difference between you making the play and not making the play.
Take me through it.
When the pitcher's in his windup, I stand like this, and then I'll step into it, and I'll go left, right, boom. And then that way at contact, I'm hoping the balls in my feet are coming back to the ground so I can, boom, make a step and get a read on the ball. It doesn't mean you have to be in a rush to make a quick decision, but you're at least able to be in an athletic position to read the baseball, pick out a hop, or make an adjustment. And then on the backhand, like on a backhand, something that helps, because at third you got a long throw.
Yeah.
A really long throw. So you're here, boom, you're going. And what I try to do is I'm going to get to where I think it's going to be first, and then I'm kind of trying to work back through it. So, like, I'll get here, and then I'm trying to just work through it as I go so that my momentum and everything is taking me back through. You don't want to be... It's really hard at third to be catching balls back here because then you have to really reset your feet, get on back on top, and make that throw.
How you working with Willie? Because I feel like you can cover that hole.
Yeah, it's been great. The biggest thing for that's nice is for Willie is I try to take away no matter who my shortstop is. I don't want them to have to make any hard backhand plays. The only play I told him that hopefully he has to make is a hard backhand, like 1 or 2 hopper, where it's just 1 or 2 steps to his right, and then boom, catch, throw. All the slow rollers, those tough plays he has to come through, I'm hoping I can just cut him off and make those plays and make it easy on my shortstop. That's what I try to do for Marcus and Bo. So
God, kids at home, listen to this guy play some defense. Guns pop, big contract, defense for days. Greg, back to you.
Manager interviews are presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
30 clubs in 15 days rolls on from beautiful Scottsdale Stadium, the spring home of the San Francisco Giants, a team that boasts one of the best managers of this era. Bob Melvin joins us now. Bob, always good to see you. It's our manager interview presented by Sage. Man, I got to tell you, Bob, there's a breath of fresh air in this camp right now. How would you describe it?
Well, it's a different vibe. Last year we brought some free agents on kind of late in camp, so we never really felt like we were connected from the very beginning. beginning. We signed a Willy Adames this year, buys a house here. He's here a month before. He's working with Tyler Fitzgerald over second base. Matt Chapman lives here. You know, once we get to first day of camp, it feels like we've been hitting the ground running already, and it's just a little bit more cohesive this year, and it's a really good vibe. These guys are playing for each other, and these guys are all buying in.
I see Barry Bonds walking around, Marco Scutaro walking around. Are you guys like leaning into your rich history more?
Big time. I mean, the entire camp, we have like 2 guys here, you know, on a particular week. Dusty's coming today. Yusmeiro Petit was here. Casilla was here. Javier Lopez is here. Scutaro's here. Hunter Pence is coming. I mean, it's one after the other until the end of camp.
And how does that impact things?
Well, my message is, look, these guys are part of a foundation here in San Francisco that you should be inspired by. Lean on these guys because there's been a lot of success here.
From a lineup standpoint, I think it kind of went under the radar. Jung Hoo Lee getting hurt so quick last year. Everyone I talked to around the camp, this guy finds barrel consistently.
He does. You know, last year he got hurt so early that, you know, the season goes along, you kind of forget about it, and then you have some perspective at the end of the year. This guy was a major sign for us. And, you know, as a manager, it's kind of fun to have a guy that you can put some stuff in action and know he's going to put the bat on the ball. And a lot of times it's a barrel. So now every time he swings the bat, he hits the ball. It's pretty special.
What are you expecting from Verlander, Justin Verlander this year?
You know, I've had some tough games against Justin Verlander in the past.
We all have.
I told him when he came here, you're going to run some laps to pay for this. But you can see the talent level, obviously. You watch you compete against him. But until you're actually with him and see how curious he is all the time and, you know, how he's all in it for these younger guys, too. You know, he watches bullpens. He's got stuff for everybody. You know, the talent level's great, but, you know, I'm better than you are. And I've done that for a long time. Not only are we lucky to have him, but we have a lot of good young pitchers here that can learn a lot from him.
What about the young group, the prospects? Is there a young guy in this camp that's catching your eye?
Well, the easy one is Bryce Eldridge. So we just sent him down the other day. He got a little taste of it here. This guy's going to be a real force. He's going to push the envelope pretty quickly. At some point in time, whether it's this year or next year, he's going to be a major force for us.
Willy Adames coming in.
Huge.
You got arguably the best left side of the infield in the game.
We like it.
But just energy-wise, too.
You know, the one thing I noticed from Willy playing against him all the time, it always looked like every day was opening day to him. And that rubs off on the guys.
It's tough to do.
Everybody wants to be Willy Adames and wants to be around him. You get the buy-in from guys like he and Chapman, it's easy.
Bob, you're one of our favorites to talk to. Have a great year, okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Manager of the San Francisco Giants. For more on that Giants farm system, let's check in with Jim Callis. Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Greg. The Giants' top 30 prospects list just came out. Bryce Eldridge, who's one of the best power prospects in the minors. Carson Wisnett, one of the best changeups in the minors. Josue Gonzalez, the best position player in the international market this year. James Tibbs, one of the best hitters in last year's college crop. And Johnny Level, sneaky good international signing. To check our new list out, head over to MLB.com/pipeline. I want to welcome in Carson Wisnett. Carson, thanks for joining us here. I got to ask you about the changeup. Whenever I talk to scouts, going back to when you were at ECU, everybody talks about the changeup. How did you develop the changeup, and what makes it so effective?
For me, I didn't throw a curveball or a slider till I got into high school, so the changeup was always my out pitch. I've changed the grip a few times now, but I've had the same one for 6 years, and honestly, it's just a trust thing, comfort with it. I've thrown it enough now where I can throw it both sides of the plate whenever I want, but we're trying to not lean on it as much anymore and go to a third pitch, so just kind of working with the changeup to kind of save it and use it later in counts or as an early strike to set up the rest of the arsenal.
So this year you're getting your first action in big league camp. You pitched 3 scoreless innings. What has that experience been like, picking the brains, watching some of the big leaguers in action? You were saying it's kind of cool having Justin Verlander in camp.
It's pretty neat having JV around. Talking with Webby, Hicks, Robbie, like all those guys, you learn a lot. They've been around, especially Robbie being another lefty. Like I've tried to pick his brain as much as I can, learn as much as I can, but it's just kind of an interesting dynamic around here. You get to be around all these big leaguers all the time and kind of see what they do each day.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to join them at some point this season, so we're looking forward to that, Carson. Thanks for joining us. Back to you, Greg.
Now it's time for our predictions for the San Francisco Giants. And if you don't mind, I want to lead things off.
Go.
Because I think it's going to be a 2-win improvement. Giant fans don't want to hear that, but I think 82 wins. It's the toughest division in baseball, D-Row.
All right.
It just is. I think they're in the right direction. But I want to give you a specific prediction. Justin Verlander wins 17 games. I think he's going to have a terrific year. He might be the NL Comeback Player of the Year.
He's going for 300. He's not leaving
He's going to be around 280.
Yeah.
If he gets to 17 wins, almost at 280, he's definitely going to come back for age 43 season because he's going to want to get to that milestone of 300 wins. That's my prediction.
Look, I'm gonna have a little bias here. I think they're a third-place team in this division, in the NL West. I really do. I think there's a lot of upside. I think a guy, my big prediction, Jung-Hoo Lee. He got hurt so quick last year that people just forgot about him. I think he's going to contend potentially for a batting title, and I think he's one of the representatives of the Giants in the Midsummer Classic.
For Mark DeRosa, my name's Greg Amsinger. That does it for 30 Clubs in 15 days. For more spring training coverage, log on to MLB.com.